Hello and welcome to part 4 of my PS2 collection. Next up we have Gran Turismo 3, A-Spec. And yeah, really good driving simulator. One of my greatest memories of this is listening to all the tracks from Feeder for the first time, which made me into a fan of theirs. And yeah, just a really good game. Quite tough, but yeah, like a lot of the cars that were around at a time you could play in this game, and there was no damage which you would see in games like Forza right now. But yeah, it was, for its time, it was one of the best driving simulators around, and it sort of put. It was one of those games that sort of put the driving simulator series, like genre, I should say, on the map. If this wasn't around, I don't think Forza would be either. So, yeah, very good. Next up, we have another one of my favourites, and that is Fahrenheit from Quantic Dream, who you will definitely know from Heavy Rain on the PS3. I actually enjoy this a lot more than Heavy Rain on the PS3, to be honest. I like the whole, the more supernatural style to this game. For those living in America, this is called Indigo Prophecy, but it's pretty much the same game, other than that. But yeah, very interesting story. You can sort of change it however you wanted to, depending on how you play. And yeah, and it was an adventure game as well, and I love the early sort of adventure games on the PC, like Grim Fandango, like Toonstruck, Curse of Monkey Island, things like that. So a game like this really really went down well with someone like me. Yeah, absolutely loved it, and yeah, I kind of wish there was a sequel to this game, but yeah, it's a shame, but it's one I'll always come back to. Next up, we have Ape Escape 2 and Ape Escape 3. I haven't had a chance to play either of these yet, but I heard they're really good. They're kind of like I guess a little bit like Super Monkey Ball in a way. Lots of mini games for things like that, and with a sort of obscure story sort of wrapped around it. But yeah, I've heard they're really good, especially the second one. So yeah, I'll check them out when I get the chance. Next up, we have Parappa the Rapper 2. Not as renowned as the first Parappa game on the PS1, but I liked it. I thought the game was quite short, which was disappointing. But other than that, the songs were really good. The variety of tracks they had on here, and yeah, it was really fun to play. Not the greatest rhythm action game, I guess you could call it, ever made, but yeah, it was still fun for what it was. The only shame was like it was quite short. Next up, we have Timesplitters. Another game I haven't played, but I have played the sequel, Timesplitters 2, to death. I absolutely adored this game. Not so much the campaign, because there was one level in Neo Tokyo which was sort of stealth based, and I hate stealth missions in FPS games. But the multiplayer was a hell of a lot of fun. The challenge modes as well, especially with that one where you had to like throw bricks through windows. That was pretty addictive. Trying to beat, like, constantly trying to top your best time and all that. And also Timesplitters Future Perfect. Also Timesplitters 3, I guess. And this focused more around I forget this guy's name. Yeah, the Vin Diesel lookalike, as I used to call him. But yeah, it's time to split. Oh god, that was so lame. Um, but yeah, pretty much the same concept as the second game. Sort of trying to stop these sort of time splitters, that like alien type creatures, from screwing up time basically, and you sort of take the guise of like loads of different characters, and it's a really entertaining, funny game. A lot of funny dialogue in this, and the multiplayer is still as good as ever, as are the challenges. Next up, we've got another underrated classic. I don't think this came out in America, which surprised me. It came out in Japan, in Europe as well. But yeah, and that's Gregory Horror Show, I should say. Very, very sort of unique game. It's sort of like, I guess you could call it my first survival horror almost, and yeah, it was like it's kind of like survival horror for like kids almost, but it was kind of creepy at times, and yeah, it was basically like a puzzle game where you had to basically you're trapped in this house and you have to capture uh, all these residents of the hotels like souls to escape. And it was just a really entertaining game. Quite short again, unfortunately, but while it lasts, it's very entertaining. And next up, we have the Beautiful Joe series. I played the first one, and I got a little bit into the game, but then I got to the shark boss, and he just destroyed me. I couldn't figure out how to beat him, and yeah, it's really tough, this game in parts, and but yeah, I've never managed to get through the second one because of that. But yeah, it's entertaining for what it is. I got these quite cheap a while back, and but yeah, they are entertaining games. It's just a little bit too tough in places. Next up, we have Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Now, one of my personal favourites. Yeah, just a brilliant action adventure game. Lots of really cool platforming and stuff. The rewind feature, which where you fail a jump or a sort of combat situation, you could rewind time to get a second chance at it. And yeah, really. As I like the main character as well in this one. It was it's sort of slightly arrogant, but at the same time really funny. Very good dialogue. I didn't like Royal Within that much because I thought they just completely fucking ruined the whole concept of the game. Next up, we have Smackdown. Here Comes the Pain. Yeah, another great one. For me, it's probably the best Smackdown game ever made. I wouldn't say it's as good as WWE 13 though. That was really good. But this one's pretty good as well. A lot of interesting twists in like the story and such. Good variety of characters. Lots of game modes, and yeah, really good. And finally, we have a game I've been playing recently, even though I've sort of played through it once already, and that's Bully, or Canis Calamedit, because apparently people in this country thought it was, it's like, oh no, look, think of the children and all that bollocks. But yeah, yeah, we're very paranoid in this country for some reason. But yeah, really good. Not you play like this character called Jimmy Hopkins, who gets sent to this school because he's sort of had like a bad upbringing and sort of becomes a bit rebellious because of that. and you sort of go through this sort of very interesting story with like a variety of interesting characters, and the missions are absolutely superb. And the dialogue and the even the classes, which I thought would have been boring, but actually it sort of breaks up the story fairly well, and a very interesting, and the music as well, absolutely superb as well. One of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in the game. Yeah, and yeah, that's Bully. I'd probably rank it alongside Vice City as my favourite Rockstar game. So yeah, very entertaining. And yeah, that's it for part 4. I'm not sure when I'm going to do part 5, but hopefully it'll be very soon. So until then, happy gaming.